All right, so are you ready to dive into something that I think pretty much everyone thinks about at some point?
Always up for a good deep dive.
Yeah, today it's all about finding a truly great partner. We've got these excerpts from a guide called Attracting High-Quality Women.
Okay,
But don't worry, we're going to ditch the gender specifics here.
sounds good.
We're going for universal wisdom. Think of it as attracting awesome humans, period.
I like that. Attracting awesome humans.
Right.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see a source that's more about you leveling up instead of like, trying to game the system.
Totally. And it starts by getting real about why we might attract partners that, well, maybe aren't high quality. Some reasons are kind of obvious, low self-esteem and all that.
Right.
But this guide also lists things like lack of ambition or even like unhealthy habits.
Interesting.
Do you think those things actually play a role in who we're drawn to?
It's fascinating, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
there could be a few things going on. Maybe we're subconsciously attracted to people on a similar wavelength. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're super driven and goal-oriented, someone who's just coasting through life might not feel like a match.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then there's the whole signaling thing too. Like, what are our lifestyle choices saying about us?
That's a great point. It's not about judging anyone, but it is about realizing that we attract what we project.
Absolutely.
So if we shift gears a bit and talk about the benefits of having these amazing partners, the guide lists some pretty incredible stuff,
Yeah.
but it goes beyond just the romantic stuff. They talk about personal growth, incredible support, deep connections.
Right.
Have you seen that play out in your own life?
Absolutely. I think the guide's spot on about a supportive partner being like a catalyst for growth.
Yeah.
They push you, they celebrate your wins, they help you see your own potential.
Yeah.
And that growth, it spills over into everything else.
Okay, so how do we actually attract these incredible people? The solutions section suggests things like self-confidence, communication skills, pursuing your passions. It sounds like a recipe for being awesome overall, not just for attracting someone specific.
It is. That's the key takeaway. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not.
Yeah.
It's about becoming the best and most authentic version of yourself. Like the guide talks about communication skills, but what it's really getting at is emotional intelligence.
I see.
Being able to understand your own emotions, empathize with others.
So it's those core life skills that benefit us in every area.
Exactly.
It makes sense. Now, the guide brings in some big names, too. They quote Dr. Neil Clark Warren from eHarmony
Okay.
and Dr. Helen Fisher, who's this anthropologist who studies love.
Interesting.
They both seem to agree that self-awareness, clear communication, and having a purpose, those are super important for finding a good match.
Yeah, Dr. Warren, with his background in matchmaking, he's seen firsthand what makes relationships last. And Dr. Fisher, she brings in that biological perspective, showing how our brains are wired for connection.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we're drawn to people who share our values. It's not just about looks, it's about finding someone who aligns with you on a deeper level.
It's like they're giving us this peek behind the curtain of how love works.
Exactly.
The guide also has these real-life examples to make it all more relatable.
Oh, cool.
We've tweaked them a bit for this deep dive to be more inclusive, but they basically show how focusing on self-improvement led to good outcomes in the dating world.
I like that.
So it's not about playing games or trying to force anything. It's about becoming magnetic from the inside out.
I love that. Becoming magnetic.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing that really stood out to me in this guide was how much it emphasizes having a purpose, like knowing what you want out of life. It argues that often goes hand in hand with attracting high-quality partners. Why do you think that is?
I'm curious about that too. Is it because people with a strong sense of purpose are usually more passionate and driven?
Yep.
And maybe that energy is just attractive.
I think that's definitely part of it. But it goes deeper than that. When you have a sense of purpose, you kind of radiate this authenticity.
Yeah.
And it draws people in. It shows you're not just drifting,
Yeah.
You're actively pursuing something meaningful. And that's inspiring to be around.
So it's not just about passion, it's about finding people who share your values.
Exactly. And who want to make a difference. That's where those deeper connections come in.
Right.
It's not just romance. It's about finding people who support your growth and challenge you to be better. The guide even says high-quality partners are like mirrors,
Oh, wow.
reflecting back your strengths and areas for growth.
That's a powerful image. It's like having a built-in cheerleader and accountability partner.
Exactly.
All in one. But how do we actually cultivate that sense of purpose?
Well, the guide gives some practical advice, like identifying your passions and setting goals.
Yeah.
But it also talks about taking action, even small steps at first.
Like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Right. It's about being open to exploring and trying new things and letting your purpose unfold over time. This all ties back to what we were talking about earlier with personal growth. Attracting a high-quality partner isn't about winning some game.
Right.
It's not about manipulating people into liking you.
It's about being the best version of you and letting the right people come into your life.
Exactly. And that authenticity is what really connects with people. It's interesting how the guide highlights the importance of shifting the focus from external validation to internal growth.
Yeah, that's such a good point. We get so caught up in trying to please others or fit in.
Right.
But when you focus on your own growth and well-being, you become less dependent on what other people think.
And that's what makes you magnetic. It's not about being someone you're not. It's about embracing your unique qualities.
Letting your true self shine through.
Exactly.
It's about finding people who appreciate you for who you are.
Absolutely. And that's what leads to those deeper, more fulfilling connections. So for our listeners who are thinking, okay, I want to try this, what are some key takeaways they can actually implement?
Yeah, what are some actionable steps people can take right now?
Well, self-awareness is huge. Take some time to think about your values, goals, and what you really want in a partner.
Okay.
That sets the foundation for a strong relationship. Once you have that clarity, then you can focus on building those qualities that attract high-quality partners.
Things like self-confidence, communication skills, a sense of purpose.
Exactly. And remember, these qualities aren't just about attracting someone else. They're about becoming a more well-rounded person overall.
I see.
It's about investing in yourself and creating a life that you love,
Yeah.
no matter what your relationship status is.
And when you do that, you naturally attract people who are on the same page.
Right. People who align with your values and appreciate you. For you, it's like you create this magnetic field. You stop chasing and start attracting. This journey of self-discovery and growth, that's what makes it exciting.
It's full of possibilities.
Exactly.
So for our listeners who are feeling inspired, what's one small step they can take today to start embodying these qualities?
I think a simple but powerful step is to pick one area where you want to grow and commit to taking one small action towards that growth today.
Like reading a book on communication or journaling about your goals.
Yeah, or even just spending a few minutes each day practicing mindfulness.
Right.
The point is to start somewhere and build momentum. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress.
And remember to be patient with yourself. It's a journey, not a race. Celebrate those little wins along the way and just enjoy becoming the best version of you.
So interesting how this guide doesn't make finding a partner sound like some kind of competition.
Right.
It's more about becoming the kind of person you'd want to be with, aligning your inner world with what you want on the outside.
It's like that saying, you attract what you are, not what you want.
Exactly. When you focus on personal growth and becoming your best self, you naturally attract people who vibe with that.
So maybe instead of looking for the perfect person, it's more about becoming the perfect person for someone else.
That's a really cool way to think about it. It's like realizing we all have these unique qualities and strengths to bring to a relationship.
And when we embrace those and share them authentically, it opens the door to really genuine connections.
It's about shifting the focus from seeking validation from others to building that self-worth from within.
And that confidence just radiates outwards. It attracts not just romantic partners, but those meaningful connections in every part of life.
Because ultimately, the quality of our relationships is a reflection of our relationship with ourselves.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear. Invest in yourself, nurture your own growth, and trust that the right people will find their way in.
Don't underestimate the power of authenticity and self-love.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. I hope this deep dive gave you some new ways to think about finding a partner.
It's not about following some rigid set of rules. It's about embracing growth, connection, and all the possibilities that life throws our way.
Before we go, we want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. What's one small step you can take today to start embodying these qualities we talked about?
What action will you take to nurture your own growth and attract those high-quality connections? Keep that in mind, and happy connecting.
Until next time, deep divers.